Today we are going to be discuss about lean construction management, and most of the construction projects it's getting a failure because of not properly focused on to achieve the exact and optimized way. So that is where that concept, lean construction management concept, has been get into the construction field, and we are start to implement this kind of management systems in all the projects to get a better results and to get a better productivity. So this is what we are going to be discussed today. So the left side it is something a fat man was there, and right side it is a some strong man is there. So I want to make a simple statement about the lean construction. So lean construction is totally varies between the non-value process and valued process. Non-value process means whichever is not important, if you are considering in the particular work, and we will be going to be a very fact, and if you are optimized the particular things, then we can make it as a more fit. So this is what the major concept between that. எதெல்லாம் மதிக்கக்கூடிய விஷயங்கள் இல்லையோ அதெல்லாம் நீங்க வந்து கன்சிடர் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா உங்களுடைய கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் ப்ராசஸ் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இதே மாதிரி ஒரு நான் வேல்யூ ஒரு ஃபேட்டாக போயிடும். எதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப மதிக்கக்கூடிய விஷயங்களாக இருக்கோ அதெல்லாம் நீங்கள் கன்சிடர் பண்ணிங்கன்னா யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு பி வெரி ஃபிட். இதுதான் வந்து இந்த திஸ் பிக்சர் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி டிஸ்கஸ் அபவுட் தட். ஸோ வாட் ஆர் ஆல் இஸ் நான் வேல்யூட் திங்ஸ் அண்ட் வாட் ஆர் ஆல் த வேல்யூட் ப்ராசஸ். சப்போஸ் இஃப் யூ கோ இன் தட் நான் வேல்யூட் ப்ராசஸ், யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு பி ஃபேஸ் அ லாட் ஆஃப் ஃபெயிலியர்ஸ் இன் யர் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ். இஃப் யூ கன்சிடர் ஹவு மச் way you can able to implement your valued things on your construction project, you can achieve a better results on your project output. So this is what that particular picture is says about statement about the lean construction management. And the next picture, this is the way we are trying nowadays to implement that lean construction management. So how the way we can able to make it fit of our construction industry. So each and every projects, the people are working more how to make a more benefit on the particular projects. So that is the process of lean management systems, and we are trying to make unavoidable things, whatever it is. So we are going to be obtain that or optimize that way we can able to increase that benefit of our project systems. So this is what the process of lean management. And if you are saying that next things, we are going to be say what exactly the lean construction management. So we want to know why we are preferring this kind of adopt techniques. So lean construction management, what it gives means it's decreasing the duration of the project. So we used to say it is a scheduling. So whenever you are going to be do any projects, we are keen with the time. So how much time you are going to be reduce, that much of benefit we are going to be get from the particular project. So actually the project might be in a two way. Two type of cost is incurred in the project. One is direct cost, other one is indirect cost. So the time it plays a major role of incurring the cost. Suppose if you are I think you have a syllabus on construction project scheduling. So in that you would have seen the three type of time we used to consider whenever going for a scheduling. One is optimistic time, other one is pessimistic times, and third one is most likely times. Optimistic time means so how much we can able to shrink our time to complete the project, and pessimistic means so how extend we can make a time to complete the project, and most likely means so how far we can able to do without any crashing or without allowing for escalations. So that is a most likely. These three time is most essential for considering for the scheduling. So when you are applying the lean construction management, so how we are going to be crash your time. Crash means so you would have planned for 100 days, so you can able to crash the time and to complete the project in 90 days, something like that. We are going to be crash the time and to complete the project within the budget and whatever the quality we are expected. And next one is effect. So how much way we can use our resources. So we have a various type of resources in constructions. So how effect we are going to be take that particular resources and to make utilization fully of the particular resources. Resources means I could have say that materials, I would have say that plant and machineries, I would have say that money and management and manpower. These all we used to say as a resources. So how we are going to be utilize that particular resources in an effective manner. So that is called the effect. And finally how we are going to be reduce the waste. So here given as a waste materials. Materials means it's a resources I used to say. So how we are going to be reduce the waste in all the aspects of your projects, every phase of your projects. Next, what the output is given by the lean construction management means, so we can increase the maximizing value. So whatever we are planned in our project, so that we can maximize. At the same time, we can able to minimize the cost. That's what I said. We have a direct cost and indirect cost. So indirect cost means it may not be countable in our budget. So we have to reduce the indirect cost. Maybe it is a miscellaneous cost or something is a waste. So everything we are going to be considered as a indirect cost. So how we are going to be minimized? So the two output will be given by the lean construction management is, one thing is it's going to be maximize your value of your project. That is, value means how optimized way you are going to be take the projects. Each and every steps, how you are going to be reduce all the times, reduce the cost and reduce the waste, so that it's going to be a maximizing the value. At the same time, it gives a lot of benefits. So in the construction project, we have different phases of in construction project. One is maintenance part, other one is design part and planning, and then activation. These are the things is comes under that lean construction management. That is what we are keen with that lean construction management, and this is a general process. So the quote is what best can be done should be done. This is the quote. So suppose if you want to do a thing, so you have to do that things. So we should not say this, it's not a possible. So we always have to be ready to make everything as a possible. In what way it is possible, we have to make that. That is what it's the quote says. What best can be done should be done. So this is a process of lean. It is a general process of lean construction management. First one is identify the customers and specify value. So we have to know what purpose the project is going to be carried out. So suppose if you are considering a residential building, there is a customer is there. So the customer we have to make the customer happy, and we have to make the customer as comfort level. Then only the project gives a better result. Suppose if there is any conflict with your customers and your process, then you have a lot of wastages in this. And second thing is identify and map the stream. So you have to, so once if you have received all the information from the customers means it may be a client or owner, whomever we can say as a customers. So we have to gather the informations, what exactly they are think that is a value, and what exactly they are expecting from the project. That information you have to collect from the particular client, and then you have to create a map, you have to create a streamline, you have to identify that. So that means you have to identify that in which track and which way if you are go with this project, we can obtain very easily, or we can reach it very safely. So that you have to identify using with the identify and the map stream. And then you have to create a flow. So what is a stream flow? That is, flow means the process of your whole project. So you have to start from a site cleaning to and end up of the project. It is a process. That process you have to eliminate the waste, where you have to anticipate that where and all the waste is comes, where and all the change order or variations comes. You have to identify all the things, and you have to eliminate that waste based upon the stream map. So that is, stream map means is a process or the route you are going to be achieve your projects. And third thing is respond to the customer pull, and you have to allow that customer to understand or understand that value of the project, and you have to make them to comfort in the project. And lastly, you have to prepare a perfection of your project. This is a general process. So a few things can be carried out when you are creating your the way you are doing a process of your project. One is optimizing effect, second one is minimizing the cost and time, and third one is reducing waste, and fourth one is creating a value. So first, the effect, whatever the effect you are putting, you should not waste your effects. Suppose if you are you maybe create a drawing to satisfy the customer, you have to first you have to collect the information before you draw any drawings. So once if you got the information from the particular customer, then if you are creating your drawings, so then that is an optimus effort. Otherwise, simply if you are creating a lot of drawings and allowing to customers to take a time to think different, then it is going to be a loss of effort. So you have to be each and every steps, you have to make a information, you have to collect the different data and make your impression or effect is very optimized way. And second thing is, once if you are put your effect in an optimized way, automatically your project cost and time will be get reduced. And if you are very keen on this, the reducing of waste also it's a possible. And then whatever the project you are doing, that gives a better value. That is, it may be give a better value for money, it may be give a better value for a time, it may be better value for a quality. So everything if you are saved, whatever you are saved, it's a value. That is a, so everybody have a time is a value. So if I am taking these presentations, if you are sitting for a 1 hour, the 1 hour time is a value for you. So what I am saying, so whatever the information I am giving you, so that should be very valuable for you. Suppose if I am giving some stories, it is not a worth for you to spend a 1 hour time for listening this presentation. So each and every things is a very value. So you have to identify the value. So not a money, not a time. You have to think about only the values in this. So, and why lean constructions? So here we have two different industries. So one is manufacturing industries, other one is a construction industry. So in manufacturing industry, mostly it is in a under roofed process. That means they have a factory. Inside the factory they will create a one product, the same product they will continue the entire process. So for that they can able to identify that what are the issues is coming, and they can make some continuous improvements. So they can increase the value added, and suppose if you have any issue, they can make it as a support activity, and they can minimize that non-value added activity. But in the construction industry we cannot able to deliver a same kind of products everywhere. So each and every building, each and every construction aspect is a different, it's a unique nature. So you are not going to use the same practice for all the projects. You have to change every project, you have to change a different practice of making the project. So that is what we are, our value kind of information is very less compared to the manufacturing industry. That is the reason we are keen to know about what the lean management is possible to make more output or more productivity in our construction industry. And some of the non-valued activities. So these 8 is a very important non-valued activities in any kind of industry, even manufacturing industry or construction industry, any industry if you are considering. So this 8 is a major non-value added activities. So if you start to reduce, if you start to focus on these 8 areas, then you can achieve a better output or better productivity of your projects. First one is defects. So we have to reduce all the defects whatever it's occurring. So for our cases we used to say as at reworks. So once if you start to reduce the reworks, so your value of your project is going to be increases. And overproduction. So this is the overproduction means if you are, for example, if you want to make a cover blocks for your slabs, so if you are making a lot of cover blocks, then it is a overproduction. Similarly, if you go for a prefabrication kind of building structures, overproduction is caused major losses in that. And then weighting. So weighting is the most dangerous things in our construction industry. Suppose if you are going for a concreting, or if you are going for any formworks or rebar, everywhere the weighting is a major issue. That is tuning theory. They used to say as a tuning theory. That is whose comes and whose goes. This is a process. So how we are going to be make everybody as in a utilized way. So that is what the weighting. So we have to reduce the weighting. Underutilization of talent. So this is for the manpower. We have to identify the right person for the right job. So all the engineers, you are all the engineers. Once if you are passed out from the final years, you are going to be being an engineer in some of the organizations. So in that organization, your organization have to understand your talent. Suppose if they are not understand your talent, you are not going to be stay on the same company. You are going to be moved to the other company, because they other have to be understand the talent. So when you have an organization, when the project is running, the head of the particular project have to be know that what is the talent, and he had to be take a quote to choose the right person for the right job at the right place. So this is the term they have to use. So when you are going to be a head in any project, you should keep in mind choose the right person for the right job at the right time. So that is what the motto of that is a utilization of talent. Next one is transportation of moving. So it may be a moving of materials or moving of manpowers or moving any transportation. And sixth one is inventory. Inventory means it is a procurement department. Procurement means whenever you are going to be purchase materials, whenever you are going to be hiring engineers, or whenever you are going to be recruit labors. So everywhere the inventory plays a major role. Inventory control means invent. We are going to be invent. We are going to be purchase. We are going to be procure. So that area is very important. So which material, when we have to purchase. So this is what the main point. So whenever you are going to be purchase a material in a construction project, you have to understand how much material we have to purchase, when we have to purchase, where we have to purchase, and how we have to use that the particular materials. So that plays a inventory. Inventory means the in of the materials and process of the materials and out of the materials. That is, the material comes in, works over there and goes out. That duration is called as a inventory. That is a timeline of inventory. Next one is motion of workers. So that means we are the workflow, the process is there, no? So we should not allow the person to keep on walking here and there in the site. So we have to make them to comfort to get all the raw materials or all the resources to their hand. So we have to plan according to that. Suppose if you have a site, your brickwork might be some 50 meters or 100 meters, and your cement bag maybe the stores might be in a half kilometer from your working area. So if it is like that, the people used to walk there and to collect the materials and they have to come back. This will get some more time losses in your project. So that motion have to be avoided. That is, you have to arrange, you have to make a facility. That is called as a facility management. This motion comes under the facility management. How facility we are going to be create on your work environment. So if you have a work environment, the particular work environment, you have to make it as a positive work environment. That means you have to arrange all the facilities is required for carry out the works. And last one is over processing. That is our process, our thinking. So we should if we are anticipating that this is going to become, that is going to become, means we cannot able to stop that one. So this 8 factor is very important in any kind of industry, not only in the construction industry, any industry. This 8 point is non-value added. This is, if you are carried out these 8 things, you are going to be face a losses in your particular product output. So these are the some things. Suppose defect means effect caused by rework, scrap or incorrect information. Production means more than needed before it is needed. That is, you are going to be, if you are making a lot things before it is needed, that is a overproduction. Waiting means next step process. That means one process is over, next process if you are allowing a lot of time, that is a waiting. Non-utilized talent, that is you are not understanding the talent and skills and knowledge of the particular worker or particular employee, whomever. If you are not understand the talent, you are going to be lose them. And then transportation, unnecessary movement of products and materials. And inventory, excess products and materials being processed. Unnecessary movement by people walking. Extra processing means more work or high quality than it is required to the. We have to understand what is the wastage in construction project. So whenever in the construction process, the 5M is very important. That means we have a 5M, that is a stakeholders, we used to say. That is a stakeholders, or it is a resources, whatever we can say. This is a 5M. So 5M means, first M is money. Money means cash. So you have to understand what is the source of money, where I am going to be get the money for the project, whether it is own money, or I am going to be get a loan, or I am going to be funded by some other institutions. So you have to understand how the money is going to be comes, and how I am going to be utilize the money for the particular project, and how much amount I can able to save from this project by putting a more effort. So this is the first M. Second M is material. So what are the exactly required materials, you have to understand. That is what we are doing a estimation and costing. So from that we can able to calculate how much material is come. So here it's materials means here lot things is there. So we have to think about who is the vendor of your material or supplier of your materials, and where you are going to be store your materials, and how you are going to be store your materials in a construction project, and when the material really is needed, and how I am going to be bring that materials for the site, in what way I am going to be make an inventory of the materials. These all the process come under the materials management. Next one is missions. Missions means equipment or tools. So these are all we used to say as the missions. And here the mission or equipment, it comes three category. One is we are purchasing our own equipment, or we can take it in a lease, or we can go for a hiring. Three way we can able to make missions. That means own means whether if you are going to be purchase the missions for your project, you have to really calculate whether the purchasing of mission is necessity or not. Whether the budget is allows to purchase a new machines or not. In future, whether the machine is going to be used for other projects or not. These are the points you have to keep in your mind to before purchasing your machines. Next thing is lease. Lease means I am going to be take a machine from other person for a duration of 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. So that is possible, or whether that is the optimized way to go for a lease, that you have to understand from that. And then finally hiring means it's a rental basis, maybe in a 1 hour or a day or in a week or in a month, so which is adaptable for your project. You have to understand, so which way if I am going to be choose a mission, it may be more helpful and more reliable for my project. You have to understand. That is a third M. Fourth M is manpower. So in India, like India developing countries, wherever we have a high population, we have to utilize that maximum manpower. So we have to avoid to use machines. Manpower plays a major role because of employment. We can choose a lot of manpowers, and how we are going to be use your manpowers, and how you are going to be utilize the manpower's talents. Everything is very important. And finally, method means techniques. Which method you are going to be adopting in your projects. So what way, in which way if you are adopting the techniques will help you to achieve your project in the right time and right budget, and then quality and the better quality. So these things, based on these three aspects, that is what is the cost, and what is the time, and what is the better quality. If you are seeing these three aspects, and you have to choose which technique is best for your particular project. So whenever you are going to be an engineer in any project, you have to keep in your mind for this 5M. This 5M plays a major role of any projects. So if you want to be a successful engineer on in your career, you have to be managed. You have to be understand. You should not adjust with your any project. You have to understand how I am going to be manage this money, material, machines, manpower, and the method. So once if you understand these 5 aspects, 5 M's, then you could have been able to be a successful engineer in your career. And some of the waste we used to be obtained in our engineering projects, that is construction project. First one is poor design. So you should avoid that poor design for any project, and poor layout. So layout means it's not something like design. It's layout means I have told you to avoid the motions in our project. That means whenever you are going to be start your project, you have to be know that which area I am going to be work, and which area I am going to be store the materials, which area I am going to be provide electricity and water supply, and which area I am going to be allow the laborers to stay. That means labor hostels, and where I am going to be keep a canteen, and where I am going to be allow a transportations. This all the things you have to create in your project site layout. That is a site layout. Once if you able to create a better site layout, you can reduce the motion of labors. That is the way you are going to be waste your time by moving here and there. We can able to make it as an optimized way. That is what that site layout. If you are doing a poor layout, then automatically you will lose a lot of things in that. And third one is procurement. I have told about the inventory. Inventory means, that is a procurement means purchasing. So here two things you have to consider. One is decentralized purchase, other one is centralized purchase. That is some products, normally we have a three type of materials, three type of resources. One is A materials, other one is B materials, third one is C materials. A material means it's a very costly sensitive materials. B material means it's a costly often we are using, and C materials it's a very cheap and we have to use daily. So this is the three classification of materials, and you have to allow the particular procurement manager to create a schedule for when we have to purchase a A materials, when we have to purchase a B materials, and when we have to purchase a C materials. And C materials can be purchased in the decentralized way. Decentralized means that can be purchased in site itself. Suppose in the A materials we have to allow for the centralized purchase. That means one organization is there, they are doing a 10 projects. So for the 10 projects, some common materials have to be purchased by the particular organization. Some C materials can be purchased by different 10 sites. But A and B materials mostly we have to allow to purchase in the centralized procurement systems. Next one is lack of coordination. This is a coordination between the employee with the employer, or we can say as engineers with laborers, or engineers with the higher officials. This is a lack of coordination. If there is no coordination among the team, if there is no coordination among the crew, we are going to get a lot of conflicts among them, and the problem will becomes, that is a conflict among the workers. Whatever the issue is there, you have to come forward to solve the issues. Once if you allow them to make a coordinate friendliness, if you allow the friendliness, your project is going to be very smooth. Then inefficient process, whatever the process if you are doing, if it is inefficient, then it is a problem. Next is wastage of materials. Overturn in cost escalation, that is excess money if you are spent on the project. Disputes means any issues with legal disputes among the organization and then some other party, that kind of disputes is there, then it is a problem. And poor constructability, that is the method, if you are not adapted properly, that poor constructability comes. Next, excessive staff. If you allow a lot of workers on the particular site, then you have the phase. Normally people used to say that if white helmet is increases in a project, that conflict also is going to be increases. This is used to say that. So I think you may not be know that we have a different type of helmets in the project. So that is the basic labor used to wear a yellow helmet, and then electricians and then skilled laborers used to wear a red helmet, and then supervisor, foreman used to wear a blue helmet, engineers used to wear a white helmet. So if white helmet increases, the conflict also is increases. Once the engineer is increased in the project, so lot of ideas and everything conflict, that is difference of opinion of engineers, is makes your project delay. So that is the reason the most of the engineers is the organization used to take only a very few engineers for a projects, because the problem will be get reduced, but the work burden is going to be increases for the engineers. So that kind of issues will becomes. Even laborers also, suppose if we have a example, if we have a 5 feet by 4 feet excavation, you have to do that. So in that area, one labor is enough. So suppose if you allowed 3 labors, then there is a problem will come. So they cannot able to work on in that particular area. So similarly, you have to identify that what exactly the requirement of workers over the particular job. The particular job, how much workers is needed. So that you have to understand, and to avoid excessive stuff. And lack of flow of work, that is a flow of work. It is a planning, poor planning, inefficiency of machinery working, overrun, that is excess time. And advisable relationship, arbitration. Arbitration means it is something like issues, disputes in the particular projects, that is going to the court or something. So that kind of issues is the arbitration. These are the waste is there. So we have to avoid this much of waste in the construction project. These are the common problem will occurs in all the projects. I'm saying these are the points I have given. No, these problems normally occurs in most of the projects. So that you have to be understand each and every waste, and you have to identify that what is the remedy we have to taken for these kind of issues in the to reduce the or minimize the waste in the construction projects. And this is the history of lean construction management. So the first lean construction management, that is, it's not named as a lean in that time. The lean maybe comes now in that 1913. The Henry Ford, I think you know about who is Henry Ford. So he is the founder of Ford car. He is the first person has adopted that lean construction. What he did, he created a map. He created a stream map to make a standardization of work. That is, if there is any preparation of manufacturing of car, he created a lot of standardization of the work. First thing is we have to create a chase. Second thing is we have to assemble the engine. Third thing is we have to arrange the seats, and fourth thing is we have to arrange the body, and lastly we have to go for a painting. This is the standardization of work. He created a standard on his work and achieved the mass productions. He created that first step we have to do this one, second step we have to do this one, third step we have to do each and every steps. He created some standards. So based on the standards, what he achieved a mass production. Suppose if there is a not standard, he might have manufactured one car per day. So once he created a lot of standardization, he started to create a 5 to 10 cars per day. So that is what the higher productivity. So he creating a standardized process of work in 1913. So there the lean management, it starts to come. It's in a car company, it is a car manufacturing company, and the same things is adopted in the Toyota production system in Japan 1913. So they changed a little bit from that Henry Ford. The Toyota has changed a little bit, and they create a continuous flow. That is when Henry Ford created we can create a two-way of prefabrication structure. One is standard flow, other one is continuous flow. Standard flow means the unit will be in a same point. All the materials will be come and create assemble in a one point. That is suppose I am going to be create a car. I have a one place. In that place I will bring all the things. I will bring the chase, I will bring the engine, I will bring the whatever the shell of your car, I will bring the paint, everything to the particular point and creating a car. But Toyota, what they did, they allow that particular unit to move wherever that particular place is there. First he allow the chase in the chase area, chase workshop, and that particular chase is moved to next part of engine fitting. That after engine fitting, the particular chase is moved to the next shell type. So they are continuous flow system they adapted. That is there the particular product will be in the one position, all the things will come to the product. In the second, Toyota adapted that the total product unit will be flows wherever it is required, whatever is required in that particular point. So that is a different, the space differences might be there. So they adapted that continuous flow and handling a more productivity variety compared to the Henry Ford. They have created a lot of process. The same technology we are adopting in our prefabrication structure. What we will do, if we want to create a prefabricated slabs, so first I am going to be create a formwork. That formwork will be sent to the rebar section. There I am going to be provide a rebar, and that after rebar placed, the particular unit will be moved to the concreting area. So then the concrete will be poured on that. Once the concrete is poured, the formwork next it moves to the removal of formwork. Once the formwork is removal, it is going to be placed for the curing. So that is the same process we are adapted in our prefabrication structure, not in cast insert. So nowadays we are adapted that lean today. So that is the lean has been comes in that nowadays. It's a wide range of lean tool and techniques makes life easier. Scope beyond the manufacturing of logistic, distribution, service sector, healthcare. These all the area the lean is using. One is manufacturing, and then they are using in the logistics also, and they are using in the distribution area also, and they are using in the service sector, and they are using in the healthcare. And finally, once they are adapted the lean, they are advantaging with that cost reduction and making a better productivity and using the resources in the efficient manner. This is what that history of lean management systems. A brief history, the same thing, automobile adopted whatever the story I have said, and this is what that some of the key policies has been adopted in the lean construction. That is workflow standardization. We have to create a standard manner. So that is what we are using a lot of IS codes to make a mixed design, and whatever the things we are doing, we are going to be standardized and decentralize the process. That is what I said. We have to decentralize. We have to create every way in a different manners. We have to decentralize everything, and we have to make it in a different aspects. And then worker as a more than hogs in a mission. That is, workers is a very important vital play role in that any kind of manufacturing. So we have to allow them or we have to accept that adaptability and flexibility towards the improvement. I think because the workers are working in the particular work, they know what are the problems will occur on that and how difficult it was. So you have to allow a time to listen what are the issues they are facing in the particular work. So once if they are giving the issues occurring on that particular work, so we can able to give a better solution. Or sometimes we cannot able to anticipate what is the issue is going under. The small workman or small labor can give a better solution for that particular problem. So if you are sitting in the management table and we are discussing some issues, we cannot able to identify the solution for the particular issues. If we call one labor, if we ask the solutions for them, they would have given a better solution than what we are thinking. So that is what we have always adaptability and flexibility towards the improvement of the workers' perspectives. Next is just-in-time inventory system. That is, whenever the particular thing is required or really needed, that time we have to purchase whatever the materials. So if you are doing like that, we can remove the waste. And high emphasis on teamwork. So we have to respect all the workers from bottom level to top level. We have to give them respect. So we have to respect each and every person, even if he is a lower level of your project also, you have to give a respect for them. And mutual trust, you have to believe that particular person when he is working under you. So suppose if you are not believe the particular person, if you have a not trust on him, so the work may not be, you always have some kind of doubts with them, then the problem will be caused. And then peer development means you have to give a input for that particular person and he has to give the input for the particular to you. Then you have to mutually develop the particular solution for the problems. And for construction industry, if you have a lot of experience, there is no difficult to recognize the problem issues. But suppose if you are not experienced, then you have to understand what is the lean management. So what is the major difference between that manufacturing and construction industry means, I have early said in the presentations, manufacturing industry is under roofed production manufacturing system, but our is prototype. Every project is unique, everything is in a different practice, so we are not practicing the same things. So but lean construction is give a better lesson and principles to achieve a better productivity, to achieve a better quality. So that is the reason we are ready to understand, ready to learn the principles of lean management. And this is what that lean concept, lean construction. First one is transformations. So transformation means we have to understand what really the situation and then allow to create a flow. So we have to allow the flow and to generate the value and generate the effective output from that lean construction process. And there is a 6 principles in the lean construction management. So first one is identify value. So we have to understand why really the project is carried out, what is the importance of the project, and how it is going to be give a better opportunities for each and everyone working on the particular projects. So everything you have to identify the value and define the value stream. Earlier I said that we have to prepare the value stream of your project, elimination of waste, work process flow. We have to create a work process flow and we have to pull planning. That is, we have to crash our time, we have to crash our cost. So once if you crash your time and crash your cost, if you are pulling the planning and scheduling, then you can get a better result and continuous improvement. So main point in the lean construction management is continuous improvement. So you have to be allow a process and you have to monitor the particular process and you have to control the particular process and continuously you have to improve the particular way of practice. So if you are practicing one way, it goes some point. So if you have any idea to improve it, you have to improve it in that next stage and you have to check that what is the process. Again you have to allow for the improvement and you have to check it. So whatever the work you are doing, you have to think what way we can enhance, what way we can improve the particular process to get a better results. Only three output is needed in our construction. One is how to minimize the cost, how to minimize the time, and the same time how better we can get a quality of project. If three objective is obtained by improving a continuous process, we can be a successful engineer or successful project manager in our project. And some of the points I have given about that 6 lean construction planning, the same thing whatever I have mentioned in this. And these are the lean tools available in whole world. Some of the lean tools I have mentioned here. Lean tools means the methodology. We can say, suppose if I am the person, I have an idea, and similarly some other person, they have a different idea, and some other person, they have different idea, and the problem also, I have faced different problems, the other person have faced a different problems, and the third person have faced a different problems, and they would have given a solution for whatever the problem they have faced. And these tools or is created based upon that only. So one person, he faced some problem and is given a solution for that particular things, and other person is faced. So among similarly, so we have around 20 or 25 kind of lean tools. I have given some of the things. First one is Kaizen. This is the initial stage of lean tools. Second one is fail safe for quality. Third one is just in time. Work standardization, 5-step plan S, just in time, increased valuation tool, integrated project delivery, total productive maintenance, total quality management, concurrent engineer, value stream mapping, pull approach, creative thinking, last planner system. This is last planner system. We are using most of the project in construction. The last planner system is adopted by most of the organization in construction industry. So these all the tools might be used in a different industry, especially in our construction industry. We are focusing on last planner system, just in time, and some of systems we are adapting. So mostly we are using a last planner systems. And then one piece flow, re-engineering, poke yak, daily huddle meeting. So this is also we are doing a daily huddle meeting, weekly meeting, monthly meeting. We are doing a different kind of meetings also doing in the construction industry. First run studies, and then Kanban systems. These are the tools. I am going to be show you what the tools exactly says. The Kaizen tool, this is a Kaizen tool. This is a Japanese word. This Kaizen is a Japanese word. The lean construction tool involves looking some task in the field and finding out how it is to be a better. That is what. So we have to be allow the work process, and we have to identify or to make how better the particular work can be carried out. At the same time, efficiently, safer and quicker. So this you have to identify. This is what that the way the Kaizen cycle will do that. Get employee involved. You allow the worker. Suppose usually in our Asian fathers, or maybe that forefathers, there is one story is there. One person came to the man and he asked that how much distance I have to reach the particular place. The person is not answering to the person, and then the person is start to move forward. Then the rest person is called him, and he said that if you walk in the same speed, you can reach it for that 20 minutes. So this is the way you have to allow the employee to work on that particular area, and you have to monitor him how efficiently he is working on that. So based on that, how better you can able to create it, you have to think it. So first thing is you have to allow the employee to involve in the particular work. Gather a list of problems. That is what I said. You ask issues in the particular work, and then encourage the solution, then choose the idea, and then test the solution, regularly measure and analyze the result. If successful, adopt the solution, repeat on ongoing basis. So first thing is you have to allow the employee to work and gather the information from him, what are the issue he is facing, and give a better solutions for him, and test the solution whether it is working or not. So once if it is start to work, then implement in all the bases. This is what the Kaizen's results. The Kaizen is the Kaizen tools is give an idea. This is the process of betterment of your work. And then work standardization. This is what we have to make a standardization of work. So if the person is pulling that particular rock to the future, is not allowing any rest, automatically the rock will be come down. So you have to create some standardization, you have to create some steps, or you have to create some ideas. That is what whenever we are doing a design, we are making a reinforcement spacings or reinforcement details, this and all we are doing, no? So that is what the standardization. If any works we are doing, we are, so that is, if you are doing a proper support, if you are not doing a proper support, the formwork will be fall. So we have to make some standardization. The formwork have to be fixed like this, and that formwork sheet have to be placed it like this, and we have to allow a tolerance of ups and downs, everything. If you are going to the site, you can understand more standardization of works. At in the final year or third year stage, you cannot able to visualize what I am trying to say. That is what I used to say, that sum of reinforcement. And standardization means each and every steps you have to place some kind of standards. If you are keeping a standards, then the work will be getting standardized, and you can get a better improvement on your future state of your projects. This is the last planner systems. So here we have a systems. First you have to prepare a master schedule. That is, if any project is there, you have to prepare a master schedule. Master schedule means you have to identify that how much time is required to the complete, how much cost is required to the complete. Once if you prepare the master schedule, set a milestones and key dates. That is, milestones means whenever you are doing a project scheduling, we used to consider milestones first, and then we'll used to keep a work breakdown structures. Milestone means first I have to complete this. This is one milestone. Next step I have to do this one. That is a milestone. Suppose if example, if you are taking a residential building, first milestone is completing of substructure. Substructure means it involves earthwork excavation, and then we are going for a sand filling, and we are going for the PCC, and we are going for a footing concrete, and we are constructing a grade beams, and we go up to a basement level. Then we have to fill a sand on that basement area, and we have to consolidate and to raise the superstructure. This is what that first milestone. I have to fix the milestone first. I want to complete that substructure within a 15 days, and this much of cost. That is a one milestone. Work breakdown structure means in that particular milestone, substructure is a milestone. In that, excavation is a first work. That is work breakdown. So where I have to break my works, how I am going to be split my works, how I am going to be decentralized my works. First I have to finish earthwork. That is a one work breakdown structure. Second, I have to fill a sand. That is my second breakdown structure. Third, I have to go for a PCC concrete. That is a work breakdown structure. So each and every work you are going to be split it under a different works. That is called the work breakdown structures. So in this case, master schedule have to be created based upon the milestones and the key dates. That is when I have to complete that first milestone. So milestone means you can understand. Suppose if you want to reach from one place to other place, we have a kilometers, right? So that is a milestones. Every milestones, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer. If you want to achieve the particular destination, first you have to cross your 1 kilometer. Second, you have to cross your second kilometer. So these milestones is there, no? That is called as a milestone. So first, what I have to do. Second, what I have to do. Third, what I have to do to achieve the particular destination. That is called as a milestone and key dates. Next, should do, phase schedule. You have to prepare a phase schedule. That's what I told you, work breakdown structure. Specify the hands off between trades. Next one is can do, should do, can do. You have to understand the word should do, can do. Look at plan. What is a plan? Next, prepare a weekly work plan. Weekly work plan, will do. And then progress tracking. You have to, once if you are allow the weekly work plan, you have to progress, you have to monitor doing and done, whether it is a doing or done, and then get a feedback. That is a get a feedback. What are the issues you are facing in the weekly work plan? What are the issues is occurring? What are the problem is coming? You collect all the problems and make a feedback and learning and give a improving in this, and again you insert in the next weekly work plan and do the process. You have to keep on looping these three things: work plan, and you have to identify the issues and make a progress tracking and improve, and then go for a work plan. This is a loop process for the last planner. This is the systems we are mainly adopting in our construction industry, because this this can be possible in our construction industry. So we are using a last planner system for our most of the project. They are considering the last planners. So in this just in time also it adopts value stream mapping, also allow pull planning. These three is mainly we are using for a construction industry. Last planning, monitoring and control systems, this can be adapted using with the just in time, value stream mapping and pull planning. These are the things we are using in our construction industry. And fail safe for quality. So this is the check quality, check safety. So you have to check the quality of your work and you have to check the safety of your work. So once if you check both of this, we can able to improve that. And just in time, this is that stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 1, whatever that required, do the process. So if there is any issue, and then you check and improve, again you deliver to the third stage. So whenever is needed, you have to adopt it, delivery and made a request. First, if the stage 2, if you want to reach, whatever the things you deliver first, and then again you deliver to the third stage. If it is needed, then again order to the third stage to order to the second, and second have to order to the first one, then it deliver, the second will deliver to the third. If third needed, he order to the second stage, and second stage order to the first stage. So this is a process. What normally where we will do this, we will do in the procurement department. Procurement department means we have to create an invoice. Suppose if I want 100 bags of cement, so the site engineer will give indent or invoice to the project manager, and then project manager, he used to give that to the procurement department. So procurement department is stage 1, project manager is stage 2, and site engineer is stage 3. So procurement department first issue 100 bags to project manager. The project manager will issue the 100 bags to the site engineer. Once the process is over, again the site engineer have to be raise a invoice to the project manager. Project manager have to invoice to the procurement department. This is a cycle process. Whenever the particular resource is needed, that time you have to order it. So you need not to be purchased so early to store it in the site. So whenever we needed, we can purchase on that time. That will reduce your waste of your materials. So this is also we are adopting in our construction industry. And increased visualization. This is now everyone in our construction industry, they are start to working with this visualization. That is, we used to say as a BIM. That is BIM model. BIM model. BIM model means it is a kind of software we are using, building information modeling, building information management. That is called as a BIM, 3D visualization. That is, before the project is executing in the particular site, we are creating using with the software to identify how the project is goes up, how the project is moving in that. We can able to visualize in the computer or in the software itself. So if I am having a project, I am going to be create a BIM model, and I am going to the information about the particular project and creating in a virtual manner. Virtual means it's not a real, it is a virtual manner. I am creating in a virtual and identify that where and all I am getting a clashes, where and all I am getting a issues. So once if you start to create a virtual model, we can able to understand where the clashes is coming, where the issue is coming. Once if you find out all the issues in the virtual model itself, when we are going to be implement in the real time, in the real project, so we can able to sort out that kind of issues. That is what that visualization in the project. So these are the some classes. They would have see that some symbols they are giving in the red, no, so these are the issues, and green it shows as a it's okay, something like that, it is better. And here and all we have to find out the solution for wherever we are facing issues. So when this is comes in the virtual model, when you are going to the site, we have to focus what are the problems will come on this particular area, and we can identify some of the solution of this particular area. We can sort out the issues, not wasting the time, not wasting the cost. So this is what the increased visualization. And first run study, this is a very nominal concept. Everyone they will do in a regular life also, you will do in a regular life also. So first what you will do, you will plan you will do, you will check, and you will act. So this is what, suppose if you guys want to get a money from your parents, you will plan to say some story to get a money, and you will do that plan to your father, and you will check whether he is checking or not, and then you will react it. So you will find out the mood of your father, and you will go and talk to and get your benefit. This is the same concept. First we will plan, and we will do, and we will check whether it is working or not, then we will act. So this is a first run studies. Mainly in the initial stage itself we can identify this. You can easy to understand your father is in an angry mood or in a happy mood. So based upon the mood you will do your requirements. No, the same process we will do in the site also. Next, daily huddles meeting. So every day, if you go for a huge projects and all, every day morning they will make a daily huddle meeting. What are the problems they are facing yesterday, and what are the problems they are going to be faces today. So based on that, they will give a solution in the morning itself, and based on that they will find out that what is the cycle process we have to carry out in the particular particular project. So we used to call the other name as toolbox meeting also, this one. And third one is 5 steps plan, 5 years process. This also we are adopting in our construction project. First one is short, second one is set in order, third one is sign, and third one is fourth one is standardize and sustain. This is a 5-year system. First we have to sort out the issue, then we have to make it as an order, and we have to check whether it is giving a better result or not. Once if it is giving a better result, keep that is as a standard system, and then you sustain your process. This is what the 5-year system. That is, first you have to identify the problem and sort out the problem and create some order or process and check whether it is giving a better result or not. If suppose it's give a better result, make that is as a standard procedure for carried out the work, and keep that is for the long term. This is what they are doing in the 5-year systems. That is what they are doing in that. Suppose for example in our particular construction project, separate like materials and equipment and remove or dispose material and equipment, remove or dispose that which is no longer needed. So you have to identify, you have to sort out. So if any project the excess material is there, excess equipment is there, remove or dispose for longer need. Suppose if it is not used in the longer, and straighten. So put the material in the bundles or racks. You have to keep it in a better way, and then scrub and sustain the standardize and systematic for your system. This is what the 5-year systems. Next one is Kanban system. This is also a Japanese system. This we used to normally work in our school days. In school days, what we'll do, we will create a lot of some kind of informations. That is, we have to whatever the things is there, if any homework is there, we have to give the priority of the homework. So which teacher is giving a more punishment, which teacher is giving a less punishment. So that kind of process you used to think in your school levels. So based on that, you have to give a prioritized. So which teacher is very tough, or which teacher is give a more punishment. So we have to first finish that particular work. So same way we are adopting that Kanban board systems. So prioritize the backlog do list. What are the works we have to carry out? Second, work in progress. Third, validate and complete. So this is what the Kanban systems. It's based upon the pull system. Which one we have to do in the first, which one we have to do in the next, and what are the things in work in process, and we have to validate and complete. This is what the Kanban system. Next is POC-YAK. This is we have to give a solution, or we have to identify the problem in the initial stage itself, and we have to give the solutions. In Tamil they used to say that முதல் கோணம் முற்றிலும் கோணல் அப்படினு சொல்லுவாங்க. So if the, or in English, the first impression is the best impression, they used to say that, no. So based on that, first itself you have to clear the problem. Suppose if you allow the problems, in the end it will give a maximum problem for you. So if you identify that any problem in the initial stage itself, just solve in that particular stage itself, and then move on to the other stage. Otherwise the same problem is carried out to the entire project. So we have to study the process, and you have to give the solution in the initial stage itself. That is what that POC-YAK. POC-YAK is a priority to prevent the defects from occurring in the first step by correcting the condition of work. Otherwise the value stream is going to be a mistakes. So this is a process. Study the process document the error. Whatever the error is coming, you document that, reform a detailed error analysis, just make the analysis on the error, and brainstorming mistakes, proofing ideas, create some brainstorm mistakes and all, you create all the things, implement the solution, analyze the solution, and you allow for the work progress. So this is what the POCYOC. And pull planning means first you have to do a first process. Already I told no, work breakdown structure, the same thing. Based upon the milestones, you have to work on it. First you have to do a first process, then you go for the second process, then you go for the third process, and finally you finish your project. This is what the full planning. Value streaming means this is the value streaming ideas. So first you have to create a strategic vision. So you have to, everything has been a conceptual stage, everything you have to create in a ideas. Then put some potential on your ideas. So what is possible, what is not possible, how I have to diagnose the problem, everything you have to make it as a potential. Then you allow for the engagement. Engagement means you involve that employee or involve the laborers to work on that, and again you diagnose that whether it is working or not. Then you plan it, then you finish off your projects, implement and develop and get a success. This is what the vision. This first process is a conceptual stage, and this is the execution stage. Here you have to create a lot of ideas, lot of generations, lot of implementation, and here you have to achieve your better results of your project. And integrated project delivery system, this is also we are doing in that. So integrated project delivery system in construction management, first thing is it start from outcome based. So what is the output I am going to be get? So based on that you have to create your project and find out that what is the best value, and give a better collaboration with your issues, and give a analytical standards, and finally get the results. And this is the lean project delivery system. This is also one kind of way. In that earlier stage we need that values, design concept. This is a project definition, lean supply, lean assembly. This is a flow of your project. First you have to create a project definition. This is a concept stage, and this is a lean design. Prepare a schedule, prepare a time, prepare a cost, or measure the time, measure the materials, everything, all the measurements you have to create are calculated in the lean design, and you supply that whatever the measurements you have created, and finally complete your project. This is what it was lean project delivery system. This is a workflow control, product control, production unit cost. This is what the working structure of your any project. And this is the difference between the traditional and lean. So here earlier I am told about various kind of tools, and here I am going to be tell about that what is a traditional way and what is a lean way. So one thing is you have to understand, so whatever the projects we are take, first what project we are doing, how I am going to do the project, who is going to do the project and realize the project. So in this what happens, the responsibility may not be taken by someone. So here the we cannot be able to blame anyone in this case. So because what means we are going to be identify, how means, so here the who is coming in the third region. You have to understand who is going to do the work is the third region. Suppose here the what and how the concept is lost. So here what means I am a client, so I am going to be planned to construct a building. How means I am going to be decide I am going to be construct like this. Who means I am going to be choose some contractor. So the contractor is not going to be taken responsible in this earlier stage traditional way. But in the lean project, what I am going to do, first I have only idea, I want to make a building, I want to make a planning. Then I will recruit a employee or a outsourcing. Who, the second stage is who is going to be do that particular project, and how I am going to be ask him, I am going to be asked. Here I am the owner, I am going to be give my project to someone, so someone is going to be work for me. I am going to be ask a question to them, how we are going to be do the work, how we are going to be do the work, and I can realize what is the output is comes. So here I can allow this person to take a responsibility of my project. Here I am not going to be allow the person to take a responsibility of my project. Here I am going to be allow, because he is giving an idea how he is going to be do the work. Here I am going to be say him, you have to do like this. This is what the difference between that traditional and the lean system. So this is what that the first stage, owner obligation, contractor obligation, mostly collective obligation. But in this lean, owner's risk, contractor risk, both together, they nearly all risk and benefits shared. So here I am going to be share my risk with that contractor and the owner. But in this case, the contractor is not going to be take a risk in this area. Here the pre-design will I do, schematic design I will do, development design I will do, construction document I will do, then only I will allow the person to work for me. So here all the process I have done, he is going to be only execute the work, he is going to be only the execute work. But in this case, I am going to give only the project definition. I have idea to construct like this. Then I will allow the person to create a design and allow a lean supply and then assembly and use. So this is what the traditional and that lean project systems, and this is the way to success in the project module. So waste in project process, lack of communication, eliminate the waste. Lean principle, what are the lean principle? Reduce waste, reduce cycle time, reduce variability, simplify the work, increase flexibility on your work, increase transparency in your work, focus control, build continuous improvement, balance improvement, benchmarking, meet customers. And then lean techniques, I have told many lean techniques in the earlier stage. You can use any of the lean techniques and you can achieve a better performance, good productivity of your project. This is a clear vision and better outcome. So suppose if you want to be in a successful of your project, you adopt this concept on your project. You eliminate the waste, apply some principles of lean and use some techniques to solve that issues and get a better performance and the better productivity in this. So these are the some lean construction management improves. What the lean construction, it can increase the efficiency of effect and at the same time it gives a better ROI. ROI means return on investment. Suppose the person is investing money for a particular project, he have to get benefited from the project. Everyone in the world, whomever is doing a project, he invests the money to get a returns. Suppose if I want to create any project, I will invest some money in that. I used to think what much amount I can get it back from the project. So that is what the ROI. If you adopt the lean construction, you will get a better ROI of your project. This is what the lean construction. Benefits of lean construction, some of the benefits. What? Higher quality work. You can get a better quality of work because everybody take a responsibility in that project. So all the stakeholders like designer, consultant, a contractor, everybody take a responsibility and they are working for a better solution. So automatically we will get higher quality work, increase employee collaboration and accountability, greater project satisfaction, increase return on investment, improves risk management. These are the benefits you will get. And some of the benefits they would have listed out in that lean construction: reduce project duration, smooth workflow, improve safety. Some of the points I have given in that, I think already I have rushed the time. So just I will show the presentation. And 3% is mainly getting an advantage with the lean management. First one is customer. So whoever the client or owner, they will get a benefit. And then business or contractor, whomever the contractor. And then management, the which organization and the staff. These 4% will get a benefit by the lean management. What the customer will get? He get a consistency. He get the consistency, he get a flexibility, time and quality, lower cost, responsiveness. These are all the benefits they will get the customer. And business, so suppose if I am doing a business, I can get a better cash flow, I can reduce the stock holding, environmental benefits, increased profit, customer relation, asset utilization. That is, I used all the resources, very useful. And then management, collaboration with all the stakeholders, reliability, that is, it's a real things, and less crisis management. There is no conflict among the stakeholders, flexibility and moral delegation. These are the benefits. And staff, I can be very safe. I can feel I am very safe. There is no issue, so I am satisfied with my works. And ownership of work area, so I have friendly move with that ownership. And I will get a pleasant work environment. I can get a positive work environment. Suppose if I have everything with my hand, I am very happy to work on that area. So I am getting a positive work environment and I will be very relaxed to work. So because if I have a lot of issue in that, I will get a more stress. If I get a more stress, I cannot able to focus on my work. So automatically my health will be get some kind of issues. So if everything is very good, everything is in the right way, I will be very relaxed. I can work pleasurely in that area, and then I can give a better feedback of my project. So this is what that lean construction advantages for the staffs. And still now we have a lot of issues, and still we are implementing in that lean construction. So in future, the lean construction plays a major role in the construction industry. So better you all the young engineers and young brains, you can adopt the lean management in your brain. You can make use of it in your future. And this is our Valluvar, our Asian father. He is given some kind of kural for how you can able to make your management better. First one is பிணியின்மை செல்வம் விளைவின் நம் ஏமான் அணி இன்ப நாட்டிற்கு வையத்து. இந்த 5 விஷயம், that's 5 major factors. It will disaster your organization. It will disaster your organization. That is absence of this. That is, suppose if your organization is not in a well mood, then automatically the disease will come. Disease means not something like, so disease means everything. So like politics between the engineers, politics between the workers, conflict between the workers, these all it's come kind of a disease. And wealth. So once if the issue is there, automatically your wealth of your company will be get reduced. Wealth means it's a money. So money or something like asset, everything goes down. And fertility means it is the output or productivity is given by your company will be reduced, and happiness and security will be also reduced. Suppose if the 5 factor is acting on your company, suppose this 5 factor is not in your company, your company will be free, disease free, and your company will be very wealth, and your company will give you better results, and your company employee and you everybody will be very happy, and you can feel as a very security. So this is what that Valluvar has said more than a year, how the particular organization have to be focused on their improvements. So first thing is பிணியின்மை செல்வம் விளைவின்னம் ஏமன் அணி என்பன் நாட்டிற்கு வையத்து அப்படின்ற this குறள் is it's a more important for anybody wants to create your organization. Second one is for management skill. So this is for how we are going to be tackle with your management. வினை வலியும் தன் வலியும் மாற்றான் வலியும் துணை வலியும் தூக்கிச் செயல். This is the way. So how the leader have to be act in a particular company. Suppose if you are a leader in a company, you have to measure the strength of your plan. So what plan you have, suppose if you are the leader, what plan you have, what resources you have. So according to your plan, according to your resource, you have to fight with your enemy. That is, you have to plan your project. So this is what the very important. So if you are a leader of your particular project, you have to understand what is the plan I have, and what is the strength I have, what is the support I have. So based on the support, how I am going to be approach this particular project, or how I am going to be solve the particular issue. That is what that management skill. This is also have been mentioned by our Valluvar in that earlier stage. And third one is leadership. Suppose if you want to be a leadership, தகுதி என்னவென்று நன்றே பகுதியால் மாற்றப்பட்டு ஒழுங்க பெணின். So you have to identify that, and equity which knows no partiality in itself a unique virtue. So if you are a leader, you have to give a respect, you have to give a mutual trust, and you have to believe your workers. And main thing is you have to be very virtue when you are make a relation with your lower level management or higher level management or your contemporary management. So contemporary persons, so whomever is that, you have to be very respectful, you have to be in a mutual trust is very important, you have to maintain a good relationship. If you are doing these all the things, you will be in a better leader of your project. Thank you all for your valuable time. Now